Cheers to everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell. You're watching the Stereo Picture Society. This is a channel where I review Canadian albums, and today I'm going to be reviewing Single Mother's new album, Through a Wall. Single Mothers is a band based in London, Ontario, formed in 2008, based around lead singer and lyricist Andrew Thompson. They're a hardcore punk outfit, and I think if you were to take a line and draw them to any one era of influence, probably the hardcore punk movement from the DC in the 1980s would be your best bet. Bands like Bad Brains, bands like Minor Threat. Now in 2014, Single Mothers dropped their first album, Negative Qualities. This was pretty loose of a punk record. Andrew not really going 100%, not finding his maximum potential yet. A lot of repeated verses and choruses. 2017's Our Pleasure saw Andrew getting a lot tougher with his vocal stylings as he was writing more spoken word lyrics. But still it was a more mid-paced and riff-oriented album. Now, on Through a Wall, Andrew's lyrics are the strongest that I've heard from him yet. His spoken word style vocals take up the full length of songs most times. And Andrew still likes to pick apart little mundane topics in his lyrics. I like when he does this on the song Dog Parks. Andrew has the little proclamation of this era being the golden age of defeat. And in Andrew's really hardcore opinion, how we've dumbed down as a society, how we're valuing material things such as IPAs and macchiatos and tip jars. He also has a neutral tone to his lyrics, but he still just screams it like it's nobody's business, which I think is an interesting duality, and I like hearing this on the song Engine. Andrew's touching on conformity and losing friends and feeling guilty on the LTC and shutting out the urge to truly live while being with all these 9-to-5 workers in favor of having goals, having a purpose outside of that day job. Andrew's reflections really go in so many different directions, but I really don't think he's saying anything that's higher than himself. We just get some really good poetry, screamed really loud. I think it's a good tone to kind of smash into your face some really great lines, such as on a few parts in the song Web, which is a song that makes me feel like focusing on not fucking myself over and not focusing on how fucked up the system is. I really like that view and that maturity. I also see that tone on the song Across the Couch, where Andrew's partially using London's university and college campuses to reference the ultimate burnout of youth and adults just through partying, just through having a good time. And how he's just going to passively be part of that, write all these lyrics, sell the world as it is, and just enjoy the ride. Then there are some really humorous lines laced in throughout this album. I really like how on Big Scar, he says how a drummer should have the skill of backing in a trailer. And I like the lines on the song Signs. These are signs as in horoscopes, because Andrew is revolving around having a relationship with somebody who's totally into like stones and horoscopes and reading and everything. And Andrew feels good because in his view, he doesn't have to be the insane one in the relationship. All these themes on society and personality, the music scene, jobs and everything, all these in the lyrics make me want to be coming back to listen to them more. Not only that, but I think the pace of the album is really interesting. Unlike previous Single Mothers albums, the tempo of most of the songs switches from fast to slow, slow to fast. Often more than one change in a song. Because of that, a lot of songs felt nice as they were blending into one another, especially on the first half of the record. But I still felt that a lot of the songs were catchy and something to sink my teeth into. Musically, there are a lot of interesting riffs on here. I thought the song Marathon made for a really good opener. The riff was just hypnotic and going all the way through. It reminded me of a Swans song. And I liked how there were a lot of moments to jump up and down and dance, like on the song Stoic, Pointless. But pretty much everything is fast-paced and perfect to mosh to. All the recordings on this record are very raw, and there are a lot of guitars, and there are rarely any double-tracked vocals or group vocals on here. It just made for the vocals not to be the standout thing, just from the first listen. But as I listened more and more, as I was reading the lyrics to the record, I began to understand what Andrew was saying. I became more open to the tone of the record, and it became a challenge that I had to overcome. And I'm really glad I did, because not only did I get into some interesting themes, but there is an interesting metaphor of the wall on this record. I get the feeling that this album is trying to push through that said wall creatively and try and get to an area of progress. I think this could not only be taken personally, but also genre specifically, because they are working off of a genre that's been around for the last 40 years, 30 years at least. Overall, anybody that's new into hardcore punk, kind of like me, are going to find this album to be a challenging first listen. What kept me coming back to this album was kind of the same ways that I felt kind of scared about albums that I end up loving. If I think back on albums that I really, really loved, such as Arcade Fire's Reflector, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, Bon Iver's 22 a Million, there was always like at least a week from the first listen to when I thought that I was ready to get back into the album again. And because I'm doing a review channel, it's now my job to bring to light these kind of albums, so I have to force myself to listen. I can't just take that time and sit there and be scared and wait to be comfortable. I think someday I might look back on this album and feel like I was underrating it, but for the time being, on my handy dandy enjoyment chart, I'm going to give these guys a really strong 2 stars. I'm not going to get myself too excited on this album because I don't know exactly what kind of impact it's going to have on the future, but I know it will definitely have an impact on those that are willing to open themselves up to new experiences. And I'll say this again, I can't believe this came out of London, Ontario. So congratulations, Andrew and the group. Great job on this album. I really hope to see you live. And yeah, those are my thoughts. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. You can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter. My handle is Mitchell Hall SPS, and some other links to follow my stuff are down below. Make sure you check out Single Mother's stuff. There's links at the top of the description. And I'll be back real soon with more videos on Canadian music. Cheers again for watching. My name has been Mitchell, and I'll see you soon. Peace!